Alrighty, hello, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. I hope you are having a wonderful time. And Red Wedding Planner, I am doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. Well, on that note, let's get started. Start with some 1v1s and then we'll go into the 2v2s from there. And to start off, going to be looking at Chaos versus Tomb Kings, which is, I believe, where we left off. And if I have terrible memory, then my apologies in advance. We will just load up the other replay. But without further ado, there goes the blocker. There goes that. And here we have it. Tomb Kings versus the Warriors of Chaos. And yeah, this is looking new. So we got Rhombus of Physical Education versus Sledge. Raziel Ball, Warhammer Stream. Indeed, I'm glad you're happy to see it. Good to see it, my friend. Alright, so let's go ahead and kick it into slow motion really quick and start with our blue player, as is the tradition. Now, starting, excuse me, here we have the Mirror Guard in the center, Elite Chaos Warrior Regiment of Renown. They're going to be flanked by 2 Chaos Marauders on either side. Sorry, there's the Marauder. We're also going to have a unit of Forsaken in the mix. And then, besides the Marauders and Forsaken, we're also going to have some more Chaos Warriors. And these ones are going to have halberds. So 2 Chaos Warriors with halberds. Up in the air for the Hero Squad, we are going to be seeing a Chaos Sorcerer with the Lore of Fire. He's going to have Flaming Sword of Ruin and nothing else. And Kindle Flame. And then we're going to be seeing an Exalted Hero over here. He's going to have Hellfire Sword, Deadly Onslaught, and Mark of Corn. And then we're going to have a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire as well, with the Burning Head and Cascading Fire Cloak. He's also going to be bringing Arcane Conduit and the Sword of Anti-Heroes. So, interesting Chaos build. We are going to have 3 Marauders with Throwing Axes as the supporting Skirmish Cav. Now, for the Skirmish Cav of the Tomb Kings, we have 3 units of Skeleton Horse Archers on the right flank, so you can see both players working in a counterclockwise fashion with their skirmishing force. And then for the bulk of the Tomb King army, we're going to have a front line of Skeleton Warriors backed up by 4 Skeleton Spears. We're going to have 3 Skeleton Archers, one of which will be the Blessed Legion of Akath that does have that armor sundering. We are going to be looking at a Necrotect on foot with Restore. And then for the large units here, it looks like we're going to have another unit of Skeleton Horse Archers. Also going to be looking at some Necropolis Knights with halberds and High Queen Khalida. Khalida's on top of her snake thingy. And we're going to be seeing My Will Be Done and the curse on top of her, nothing else. And then for the magic, which I must have missed, well, first of all, there's a Screaming Skull Catapult. Always happy to see this thing in action. Kick it into full motion as it launches some Screaming Skulls. And then for the magic in this army, a Lich Priest of Nehekara on a horse. Going to be bringing quite a lot of things on top of him. We're going to have the Ekrul's Canopy, Neferara's Scrolls of Mighty Incantations, Yusep's Incantation of Desiccation, Naru's Incantation of Protection, and Jaff's Incantation of the Cursed Blades. So, here we go. As I mentioned earlier, both skirmish forces moving on the right flank respectively, and so we're going to be seeing the Skeleton Horse Archers getting back here first, looking to get some damage caused. Screaming Skull Catapult already making its presence known, killing some Chaos Warrior models here from the Mirror Guard and bringing them down about a quarter health. Another nice hit from one of those rounds. Horse Archers are now shooting the Chaos Warriors with halberds in the back, and so far the Tomb King force is doing a good job with their target prioritization. Mirror Guard are down to half health and going lower by the second. Here comes a Burning Head, though. We'll see if it can get some nice damage done. Ooh, 1 unit of Skeleton Archers just decimated right there. But it looks like we might see some friendly fire as the Burning Head goes roaring through some Chaos Marauders, but they're not going to take too much damage. In come the Skeleton Warriors for the counter charge. And clean engagements across the front line, but so far the Tomb King's looking pretty strong with that good damage output on top of the Chaos Infantry on the approach. Now we're seeing the Chaos Air Force coming over the Tomb King forces. Looks like we're going to be seeing a breath going down on top of... Oh, wow, that did not go the direction I thought it would. Oh, hitting the skeleton archers. So skeleton archers, both of them, two of them already very low. The Blessed Legion path is still healthy. But man, both players doing some vicious damage to the key components of their opponent's army. But right now, in spite of all that good damage that went down on top of the Chaos Forces on the approach, it does look like they are slowly but surely chewing through the Skeleton Warrior front line. Archers pouring in fire will help, but as we just saw, two of them are very low on health and critical binding or crumbling. Alright, Chaos Sorcerer coming in, Burning Head going down with them. And it's going right through the Blessed Legion of Bakath. It's going to get him down. Oh, man. About a third health remaining on top of those Tomb King units. And right now, very even fight. Both players doing very well here. Tomb King Hero Squad is still alive and well, but maybe I'm speaking too soon. We do see the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire down on the ground. Cascading Fire Cloak going down there to help his melee defense, though. And now the Chaos Exalted Hero and the other Sorcerer are both going after the Necrotect, who's on foot right now and just getting smashed. So that's a nice pickup from Chaos. Won't be worth it if they lose their Chaos Dragon Lord, though. And right now, Chaos Dragon Lord having a tough time getting up in the air. There's really nothing here to do for it. But here come the Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes. That's going to be exactly what the Doctor ordered. If they can get some good volleys in here, pressure the Tomb Kings to get away from the Lord, it'll be a very nice pickup, and it looks like that's exactly what they're trying to do now. Chaos Sorcerer Lord trying to get up in the air. The Lich Priest getting on his ass, though, preventing him from taking off. And the throwing axes going to get more threatening. Okay, there we go. So Chaos Sorcerer able to get up into the air. Necropolis Knights now pulling away from the throwing axes, but maybe not quick enough. Look at that, half damage. But there goes a Restorer. The Necrotect is still alive. Chaos didn't finish him off, and that's going to hurt Chaos a lot. That Restore going to be bringing those Necropolis Knights very much right back into combat effectiveness because they haven't lost a lot of models, so that healing is going down very well. Over here, going to be seeing another Breath coming down, this time on top of the Necropolis Knights. A Burning Head coming through the Skeleton Spearmen. They are going to dodge it, though, successfully. And over here, Necropolis Knights in combat with the Chaos Sorcerer. But Usep's Incantation of Desiccation down on top of him, reducing his melee attack and defense significantly, 16 and 10 respectively. But man, anybody's game. Right now, the Tomb Kings do have the lead in the balance of power, but Chaos still has their throwing axes, and it still has their hero squad. Oh, nope, I spoke too soon. The Exalted Hero just went down for the count. Ouch, that's really going to hurt. Chaos needed all the hitting power they could to deal with Khalida. And the Exalted Hero was the only melee-focused flyer here. The Chaos Sorcerer and the Chaos Sorcerer Lord not going to be up to snuff in that engagement. And now you have the Skeleton Horse Archers who still have some units remaining, and they completely outrange the Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes. Looks like one of the Marauder Horsemen diving into combat with them. The other one's coming in from the other side. That's possibly a good play. I think the Marauder Horsemen do have better stats, but the fear that the Skeleton Horsemen have naturally is going to be difficult. Ooh, over here, another Burning Head. This one doing very nice work. Chaos not out of this yet. You can see they still have a relatively healthy unit of Halberds over here. And if they can keep those Halberds alive into the late game, it will help a lot. But Usep's Legion of... or Blessed Legion of Bakath pouring in that armor sundering, reducing the Chaos Warrior armor down to 70. So still pretty high, but every little bit counts. And now it looks like the Chaos Sorcerer Lord might have just made the mistake that will end the game, landing on the ground. Will he be... Oh, he gets back up in the air! I can't believe it. Here comes another Breaths pretty soon, I imagine, but arrows pouring in on top of the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. And unless they get something going very quickly here, I think it's going to be a GG with Chaos taking it. But here comes a Breath. Oh, Breath doing some good damage. I don't know if it's going to turn the tide of this battle, though, and especially with the archers still just harassing Chaos so much. And yeah, Restore works on Necropolis Knights, man. They are constructs after all, but I think because of the human mounts, maybe it threw you off. Alright, Chaos Sorcerer Lord diving into combat. It looks like this will be the final engagement. And Chaos putting up a very good fight, very valiant effort, getting some good plays there, but this Tomb King army very well put together and had the tools to deal with this flying goon squad. But I always love to see a Chaos Dragon on the field. They're a pretty cool model, and you don't see them enough. Well, thank you, Raziel Ball. I'm glad you enjoyed the commentary. That's what I aim to do. And, you know, the battles provide the entertainment because this game's awesome and these players are awesome. Great work from the Chaos Sorcerer, Lord of Fire. Those Burning Heads getting a ton of value. Fresh from work to an HW stream. Let me get some food and a spliff ready. Hell yeah, Black Knight. Get that spliff. Yeah, style points indeed. And I mean, the Chaos Sorcerer paid for himself. He did a good job. But it's a squishy Lord if you get him stuck on the ground. But the breaths are a nice thing to have, so I can see the logic in bringing them. I just think the throwing axes needed to be better utilized there. I mean, I want to emphasize again, like Rhombus here, he played a beautiful game. I like this Chaos army a lot, and I think it could work. I'm not against this army. It's just you got to be very careful with the landing of it. And I think, you know, he ran into some problems as soon as that Screaming Skull Catapult just started wrecking the Mirror Guard. They only got 305 value. Screaming Skull doing some good work there. And the Necropolis Knights performing wonderfully. Very well used. And there was that point where Chaos got them down low on health, but that restore brought them right back up. And I wish I would have seen what happened there that caused this Exalted Hero and the Chaos Sorcerer Lord to disengage from the Necrotech, but I think that was a point in the game where, you know, if they possibly could have sealed the deal and Chaos could have won if they had eliminated the Necrotech there. So yeah, it's just a missed opportunity it looked like. And you know, not to take away from Sledge, he played a very nice game. High Queen Khalida, style points there, and very well put together Tomb King army. Bit of everything, and you know, just really using these Necropolis Knights with halberds wonderfully. So let's go ahead and get to the next battle, but that's going to put another point on the board for Han, who is now up 7-2. So let's go watch a 2v2 from here. As a reminder, the 2v2s count for 2 points. So we'll see. Hey, Ice Power, good to see you, man. I blasted all the Discord, by the way, so I hope you didn't too, or we double pasted. Oops, I definitely did too. Oh well. I take no responsibility for your actions. Hey, Jeff the Jar, good to see you, man. Hell yeah, Jeff. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. I'm envious of you. I'm envious that you get to experience this for the first time. But enough jabber from me. Let me get the next replay ready to go for you guys. So that was Chaos versus Tomb Kings. Okay, so we have that. All right, so let's look at Dowie and the Vampire Coast against Beastmen and Norska. So Clan PE will be bringing the Dwarfs and the Vampire Coast, and Han will be bringing Beastmen and Norska. So let's go ahead and use Dwarfs and Norska here. Dwarfs, a faction you rarely see in single player. It's a niche pick, but in 2v2s, just always see Dwarfs. They are so popular in 2v2s. So let's go ahead and grab that Norska banner. And then we are going to grab the Dwarf banner for our PE clan. Got over 4K hours in this game. The addiction is fucking real. Yeah, between the two games, I definitely have a couple thousand hours. All right. Hey, Grox. Good to see you, man. Thanks for the thumbs up. All right, let's get into this battle replay. Remove that blocker and see what the players have for us. So for the Dwarfs, quick scan of it. Slayers, Miners, Miners with blasting charges, Dwarf Warriors, a Master Engineer, and Thoric Ironbrow. We got Malagor the Dark Omen, 3 Harpies, 2 Tuskor Chariots, Bestigor Herd, and Gore and Ungor Herd interdispersed from there. And then we'll just get right into the Vampire Coast and Norscan armies once we load into the map. And once again, I know in certain battles the scoreboard is backwards, but that's just because I'm constantly leaving Han as the blue faction and Clan PE as the red faction. So just be aware that sometimes, you know, in this case, for instance, Han is the red faction and PE is indeed the red faction, or the blue faction on the battlefield. But let's go ahead and cover the armies, starting with red this time since we did blue last. So we saw the Beastman army. Now for Norsca, we're going to be seeing Marauders, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of them. Also going to be seeing a couple Manticores up in the air. We have a Marauder Chieftain, a Shaman Sorcerer of Death and Fire, Burning Head and Spirit Leech. And then we got Malagor up here. He's got Penumbral Pendulum, Block of Doom. And that looks like it pretty much rounds out the armies. I must be missing... So also for Norsca, we're going to see Marauder Hunters with Javelins for the Skirmishing Force. Now, for the Vampire Coast supporting that Dwarf army we already took a look at, Count Noctilus up here, Summons, Wraithstorm, and Invocation of Nehek, of course. Going to be seeing 2 Gunnery Wights, both of them with Scab's Wrath. And then we're going to be seeing some Bombers here in the center, surrounded by Slayers and Dwarf Warriors. And there's going to be 3 of those Bombers. Going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mob with handguns. And then 3 zombies kind of protecting the flanks and backline. We got the Tide of Skjold ROR on this end. Zombie pirates and dwarfs. A match made in heaven. Alright, Count Noctilus already opening up on top of the infantry here, hitting some Gore Herd. And it looks like Malagor is going to be creeping over here, trying to get around to the rear of the right flank of the blue army. And look at that. Flock of Doom upgraded, going down on top of this center of tightly packed vampire and dwarf units. 1 dwarf warrior removing themselves from that Flock of Doom, but we'll see if these players get the memo and, you know, try to split up a bit more, because those Flock of Dooms will hurt, as we saw in that Vampire Coast or Count versus Dark Elf match. So happy you can fly now, buddy. Count Noctilus going for some more down the line shots. I love the targeting here. He's shooting at units that are facing at a perpendicular angle to him, so he can just go right down the line. Potential to kill a lot more models if you're shooting at him from this direction rather than this direction. Another Flock of Doom going down from what I can hear. It does look like we're having the Gunnery Wights over here shooting. I wasn't sure if they're shooting at Malagor or not, because it does look like they're killing Harpy models, which actually might be a better call. But maybe they're shooting at Malagor and just the shots that missed killed the Harpies. I love Coast right now. I like that they don't feel so, I don't know, undynamic in terms of their play style now. I enjoy Coast melee armies, but I still need to perfect it. Anyways, this isn't about me in the Coast. I'm just reading the chat and seeing people saying they're weak, but I love them because I love myself a weak faction. All right, over here, Noctilus continuing to just fire away. He's gotten some good damage down on top of the Bestigor Herd and various other units in this Norscan Beastman alliance, but there is a whole lot of infantry to contend with, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to, but here comes the guns now opening up. And we will see what happens from here. But some good damage coming in on the approaches. We'll see if this dwarf line can hold up, though. Blasting charges not throwing their blasting charges off yet. Looks like the bomber's going to be going off right now. And I totally forgot about the bombs, I have to be honest. This many tightly packed marauders and gore herd and stuff with their light armor. Bombers and blasting charges are going to do so much work, so we'll just have to see what happens from here. Right now, it does look like we're going to be seeing an Emerald Pendulum go right through one of those bombers. We also have some marauders cutting through and getting on top of them. A Burning Head now going on top of the Slayers. They do have some oh, no, just kidding. They're not the regiment renown. But Burning Head going through, and it's actually doing a lot of damage. And I don't know. It's a matter of seeing if this dwarf formation can hold the line while the Vampire Coast blows everybody else to Kingdom Come. You can see on the Beastman Norscan right flank, the dwarf Vampire Count left flank, that the bombers have been successful. We see lots of units routing away. Looks like 5-6 units of infantry that you can see routing away, some of them shattered. But on the left flank for the Beastman Norscan Alliance, they are doing much better. This is where they seem to have focused their key units to try to break through on this flank. But will they be able to keep the steam up on this flank now that the frontline engagement has been won by the dwarfs? I'm not sure if they will. Right now, the dwarfs holding firm. Slayers still in a healthy spot, diving into combat, unbreakable. You still have Thoric Ironbrow, very healthy. Count Noctilus, very healthy, high on ammunition. But of course, as we've seen in so many battles before, this game can turn on a dime, you know. It's all about if these guys can keep their composure, keep the Beastmen and Norska out of the center of their formation so they can keep these bombs going. But right now, Bestigor Herd coming in hard. There's some Slayers diving in here to help out. But we'll see what happens. I'm still... In 2v2s, it's always hard to tell, but it always just looks so hectic that I worry about the defensive army being able to hold everything back. But as I'm looking closer, I do see that there was a lord or a hero lost by the Norskins. They still have the Shaman Sorcerer, but I think the Shaman Sorcerer of Death is gone from the field. Only the Lore of Fire remaining. Bestigor Herd and the Manticore over here shredding through the bombers, but the bombers are buying some valuable time. Over here, Slayer's now eliminating the Fire Sorcerer by the looks of it. There they go, routing. Javelins throwing into the Slayers, though, and their lack of armor is really hurting them here. Count Noctilus terror routing the Bestigor Herd. Manticore coming in to fight, though. He's not going to terror out that, and now there's double Manticore on top of Noctilus, and this is where it could turn around on a dime, as I mentioned. Is if Count Noctilus gets eliminated super quick right here by this double Manticore combination, it might just be I don't know, it might be too much. Over here, we'll see if an Invocation of the Heck, there it goes, going down on top of Count Noctilus. He is running around. The Manticore's got distracted there momentarily. It looks like they're getting remicroed onto Noctilus, and their attack animations are just insane. And it looks like Noctilus is running over here, trying to join the Slayers and Dwarf Warriors. He could cause a terror rout. It looks like these guys are routing already. And if the Slayers can get over here on top of the Manticores, that will be the game changer. And look at this! The Rampage is going down on top of the Manticores. Gunnery Wright's getting in combat with them now. And just like that, it looks like the Dwarfs and the Vampire Coast are pulling this thing through. Over here, Burning Head going through the Marauders. I mean, some zombies too who did just crumble out, but both Manticores now in trouble. One Manticore routing, the other one very low on leadership and rampaging, stuck between a bunch of crabs, an angry dwarf on a throne, and Count Noctilus on whatever the hell this horrific abomination is. Balance of power going further in favor of the Dwarves and Vampire Coast, and their heroes are alive and well right now, and I think that's really going to be the game, like the decider here as we get into the late game. Javelins coming forward, but they're low on ammunition. Count Noctilus is still alive. The Master Engineer is still alive. Thoric Ironbrow is still alive. And Count Noctilus is now shooting his cannonballs at Malagor the Dark Omen. Ammunition out for the Javelins. Looks like maybe one more volley on top of these guys. But their Lord is dead. Both of the Shaman Sorcerers have been killed or routed. And Malagor the Dark Omen going to be the only leader here trying to hold together this low leadership army alliance. I mean, if it comes to a battle of leadership, I have to say that Dwarfs and Vampire Coast are going to beat Beastmen and Norskins 9 times out of 10. So a good game to both of these teams, but it does look like we're going to be seeing PE win this 2v2 and claw their way back into this Clan War Cup. Oh no, Noctilus went down. Looks like some Javelins got him. Malagor diving into combat now though, and there go army losses. Count Noctilus did bite the dust though, but he's a vampire, so I'm sure he can just rub some dirt on it and he'll be back in the fight in no time. Yeah, Javelin's doing a ton of work there. But, you know, I had my doubts. But as we saw, PE pulling it out here with a very nice defensive army. I mean, with the Dwarfs and the Coast, you usually expect that. They didn't go for anything out of the ordinary, like a full Vanguard build or anything like that, which is a possibility with Moringulls and Miners and things like that. But just really well put together. Count Noctilus for that long-range pressure, and the 2 Gunnery Wights just to poke things to death, getting so much value. Bombers doing pretty well, not crazy good, but I mean, really this came down to Noctilus, the Gunnery Wights, and the Dwarven leaders and infantry just holding together long enough to outlast these 2, you know, rush factions. So Beastmen and Norse guys, I see some people in the chat, you know, saying maybe not convinced of that combination. I'm inclined to agree. I think it's a cool combination, but I don't think in a 2v2 it's the most competitive. I think somebody mentioned there in the chat that it sounds, you know, kind of doubling up on their strengths and doubling down on their weaknesses, and I'm inclined to agree with that. Marauder Champions doing okay for themselves. The Manticore is absolutely great. The Javelins doing some work. And I think if they would have gotten in those engagements a bit sooner, they could have swung that into the Beastmen Norscan favor. But yeah, I'm inclined to agree with the chat there. I mean, it's a cool combination, no doubt, and I respect the hell out of it. But I would say, like, Greenskins makes more sense as a combination there. Shetland Apache, you are the man, my man. Appreciate you. 17 months in a row, 39 months of subscriptions total. Wow, dude. Going on 4 years. Look at you. But yeah, Beastman Skaven is definitely better because, you know, that's ranged and rush supporting each other. I would say Greenskins with most factions is good just because you have WAs that you can capitalize map-wide. But yeah, Skaven is also just a great team faction. I agree, Vicious Satsuma. Good to see you, by the way. And Apache, thank you again for the sub. Yep, exactly. Rats are strong in team games. But a great 2v2 there. PE back in business. It is now them trailing 4-7. But, you know, we still have, I think, 3 1v1s and 1 2v2 to get through. So there's plenty of points on the board. But on that note, how about we go check out another 1v1? Asamu, that's a fair point. They just doubled down on the chaff infantry, didn't bring any good support units. Hey, there's some big Norska fans out there you're going to offend, my friend. Hey, speaking of Beastmen, though, we got a Beastman versus a High Elf matchup. I am inclined to favor the High Elves here. The Beastmen here. Because I think they just have a good matchup against High Elves, but I've seen some crazy High Elf plays, so let's see what happens here. And for Clan Han, they will be repping the High Elves. And then for Clan PE, they're going to be repping the Beastmen. So let's go ahead and get to it and load into the battle. Alright, so we got Torox versus Imric. Hell yeah. Lore of the Wild versus the Lore of Life. 4 Illyrian Reavers versus 5 Centigores. Oh no, 7 Centigores. 2 Great Weapons, 2 Regular, and 3 Throwing Axes. 4 White Lines of Trace and 4 Rangers. 5 Ungor Spearman Herd and 2 Gore Herd. Got a Tuskor Chariot. And, yeah, interesting armies. Now, to round out the rest of this High Elf roster, we do still, we see 2 generic archers. Imric is going to be on top of his horse. He's going to be bringing Dragonhorn and Lord of Dragons. And then we have the Mage of Life with Earthblood on foot. So very big, cheap High Elf army. We have Lothern Seaguard on the flanks. Big and cheap for a High Elf army. You got to keep in mind even their cheap armies are expensive since the cheapest unit they have is still 500 points. We're going to have the Centigores on the flanks. Looks like Throwing Axes in the middle, Great Weapon, and Regular, 1 on either flank. And then we're going to see the infantry going down the center too. Now the Tuskor Chariot and Torox. Now for the, Bray Shaman, I got a little confused there. The Bray Shaman is going to be bringing Traderkin and Bray Scream. And then Torox the Brass Bull here is going to have Brass Body and Blood Greed. So here we go, battle is underway. White Lines of Trace diving in, and Illyrian Reavers trying to follow it up. Centigores are throwing axes going in for a charge. Tuskor Chariot's crushing the White Lines of Trace. Illyrian Reavers coming in, but a bit too late. Now they're just going to find Torox and Ungor Spearmen waiting for them. And the White Lines of Trace are already routing. Throwing axes now being fired away. Illyrian Reavers dead to rights. Archers beginning to fire, but I mean, looking across this, I mean, we see 1 White Line of Trace, 1 Illyrian Reaver already routed, 1 over here, a Ranger about to be routed. Over here, White Lines of Trace just not in the best engagements for themselves. They have no need for armor piercing here. There's not any, Vestigore, things like that. And I just feel like the Beastman Chaff Infantry is getting way better trades against 800 gold White Lines of Trace. But we will see as the battle progresses. Right now, balance of power is very much favoring the Beastman. Bray Scream. Ooh, nice Bray Scream. Doing almost half damage, half health damage to these Rangers. Knocking them on their ass to boot. And now the Beastmen just have this fist of Centigores and Spearmen herd that are just running amok, diving through the High Elf lines. And Torox is also causing a lot of trouble. He's lost some health, though. He went toe-to-toe with Imric. Imric is a very good combat lord. He has that bonus versus large armor piercing. So it looks like actually he did a pretty good job in combat against Torox the Brass Bull. We'll have to go back and maybe see in the replay if that was Imric doing the damage or the archers. Right now, Beastmen look like their offense is being a bit blunted right now. Like the High Elves are starting to draw some blood, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough to bring him into this game after that very strong Beastman opening. Alright, Beastmen look like they're trying to just consolidate and envelop all of these units over here. Maybe leave this isolated high elf units for later, which I agree. You know, the heroes are over here, and all the important units are over here. So knock out this side of the high elves, and then go back and deal with the rest of them piecemeal. Throwing axes going in to chase off these routing units. The Beastmen doing an excellent job here, chasing off units they are able to rout and not just letting them come back. Looks like the Mage of Life is beginning to waver. And this is a very strong performance from the Beastmen so far. I think this is going to be a convincing victory. You know, a good effort from the High Elf player. And over here, look, he's still dishing out a lot of damage to Torox the Brass Bull. Torox the Brass Bull now has Lord of Dragons on top of him. It's going to cause him to run away. Imric. Okay, guys. I remember somebody in my Discord asking who can go toe-to-toe with Torox, and I think we have our answer. And that's Imric, the Dragon Prince. Butcherbird, good to see you, man. Centigors playing defense for Torox. Just pinning Imric in place as best they can. But oh no, they lost him. They lost him, and now he's in range to get a rear charge on top of Torox if he isn't careful. I don't know if that will be enough to change the tide of the battle anyways, but oh, it looks like the Centigors were able to pick up the slack and pin him in place finally. Torox going after the Mage of Life, and it looks like we have a GG here. I'm taking a higher level view. There is nothing on the field besides some White Lines of Trace and Imric. And Imric can't win this battle by himself. Or maybe he can. I've been wrong before. Yeah, a very good game to our PE clan representative here, winning this Beastman versus High Elf matchup in a very convincing fashion. But I have to give a shout out to our High Elf player for bringing Imric and showing that Torox can bleed. And as we all know, if it bleeds, we can kill it. He is the Lord of Dragons. I don't... Why would it be random for Imric to have fire resist? Imric is the Dragon Lord. He should have fire resist. Right, Houseplant? Good to see you, by the way, buddy. It's been a while. Torox does not have fire resist, just fire damage. Yes, just fire damage. I don't think... Torox has a ward save ability that gives him 40% damage resist. I don't know what else he resists. But yeah, I think Imric does have fire resistance, right? I mean, you know, play the faction you're feeling comfortable with. I'm not sure if these were like pre-agreed upon matchups in terms of the faction picks or not, but yeah, the High Elf against Beastman is a tough matchup, and I think this kind of showcasing some of the reasons why. The High Elf infantry just really has bad trades against Beastmen, like really bad trades against Beastmen. Because spearmen will get wrecked, and they're more expensive than Ungor and just as expensive as Goreherd. And then Best of Goreherd are too and then White Lines of Trace are just too expensive. And unless you're fighting Best of Goreherd, who they will lose against, they're just not going to get good trades, in my opinion. But anyways, I guess that's depending on what players want, you know. Yeah, so 25% fire resist, so he just wipes the floor with Torox. It's crazy. All blind picks. Oh, gotcha, Vicious Satsuma. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Vicious Satsuma is the key organizer among many people who have contributed to this awesome Clan War Cup. So thank you for verifying that. Do we have Brett coming up at all? Good question. We'll have to go check. We have, I think, 2 more 1v1s and 1 more 2v2. So things are getting spicy now. The score is 7-5 in favor of Han, but PE is still in this thing. They're only 2 points behind. That's 1 2v2 or 2 1v1s, whatever we have. But looking here, you know, the Beastman army performing very, very well. Torox getting countered pretty hard, and I'm sure he was Not feeling the best about that, but you know, sometimes you got to let the army carry you, and the army did all the talking there while Torok did. Torok did a lot of running from Imrik, who got some really good damage. I like that Imrik pick; it's clever. If you expect a Torok's pick potentially, then yeah, he's a very good counter. But I just think the White Lines of Trace I don't agree with here, because as you can see, it's like yeah, they'll get good kills, but they're 800 gold, and so I would rather see my Ungor Spearman herd getting, you know, 118, 225, 339 over my White Lines of Trace. Yeah, I think the Spearmen would have worked a lot better. I think Spearmen and Rangers works a whole lot better than White Lines of Trace and Rangers. And then you have extra money to spend somewhere else, like on extra archers or extra cav. I also think heavy cav is a good idea against Beastmen. I think Dragon Princes and so even Silver Helms will do a lot of good work for you. Not saying you shouldn't bring Illyrian Reavers, because I think Illyrian Reavers are awesome, but these guys won't kill a lot of infantry as well as Silver Helms or Dragon Princes do. Yeah, especially if you have Imrik. Bring the dragons and the cav, man. But on that note, let's throw up the army blocker, get into the next battle we will watch. And just give me a moment to determine which order we should go here. So that was Beastmen versus High Elves. We have Chaos versus Tomb Kings. Alright, so we did that, did that, did that. So it looks like, so we've done 3 battles so far today, which means we only have 2 left. It's a 2v2 and a 1v1. Oh crap, which order should I do it in? I guess I should do the 2v2, because it's basically, if I do the 1v1 first and PE wins, then yay, it's 6-7, and we have this 2v2 tiebreaker. Or not tiebreaker, 2v2 to decide it all. But if I do the 2v2 first, there's a chance it just ties it up 7-7. Or there's also a chance it changes it up 9-5, and then the last 1v1 won't really be a cliffhanger. So what do you guys think? 1v1 first or 2v2 first? And just so you know the factions, it's Empire versus the Greenskins for the 1v1. And for the 2v2, it's the Lizardmen and the Dark Elves versus the Wood Elves and the Empire. Alright, we're going to start with the 2v2 then, Houseplant, unless I see. Alright, 2v2, end it with a 1v1. Alright, sounds good, guys. Looks like everybody's in agreement there, and still not enough Doom Wheels Romulan dog. There is no pleasing you. Smoking a pancake, piping a sausage. Anyway, gold member reference aside, let's take a look at this 2v2 with the Lizardmen and the Dark Elves for Party Elite or PE clan. I don't know if it is. Is PE in any way related to Party Elite? Somebody let me know. Now for the red faction, we got Dark Elves and Lizardmen. Let's go ahead and throw up Dark Elves here to represent their clan. And then for Han clan, we got the Empire and the Wood Elves. So let's go ahead and throw up the Wood Elves for the blue side. Hell yeah, Romulan dog, do it. This patch is awesome now with the beta. And even the live version isn't bad either, if you don't mind the cav issue. Party Eternal, I think, is unrelated. Cool, thank you, Butcher Bird. That's a cool clan name. I have to battle viewers after the tourney, Black Knight. I can play some battles afterwards. I'm down for that. Anywho, let's get to it, guys. Wood Elves and Empire versus Lizardmen and Dark Elves. Now removing that blocker quickly. Going to see that for the Lizardmen, Crocscore Ancient, Ark of Sotek, couple Feral Cold Ones, 3 of them, 5 Chameleon Stalkers, 4 Skink Cohort with Javelins, Empire, 5 Spearmen, 1 Swordsman, 2 Wagons with Mortars, 2 Cannons, Warrior Priest, Jade Wizard, and Volkmar the Grim. And the Skink Priest of Beast for the Lizardmen. I'm going to imagine we got a Manticore Summon and Flock of Doom on that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the armies we couldn't cover in the loading screen, which is going to be the Dark Elves, who are going to have Dark Riders and Cold Ones, Bleak Swords, Dread Spears. I keep on using the wrong marker. Bleak Swords, Dread Spears, interdispersed, and 3 repeater crossbows. Also going to be seeing Marathi on foot leading this army. She's got her usual loadout, Soul Stealer, Wand of Carried On, Enchanting Beauty, and so forth. Now for the Wood Elves, we got a Spellweaver of High Magic. Oh, drawing out the Chameleon Stalker shots. She is going to be bringing... Goodness gracious, I can't see anything. Going to be bringing Channeling Staff, Soul Quench, Opal Amulet, Arcane Conduit, and Loic's Blessing. There goes on top of Marathi with the Soul Quench. Now for the rest of the Wood Elf army, though, supporting this Empire force, we have Treekin, the Firebark Elders. We got Eternal Guard with Shields. We have Sisters of Thorn. We have 2 Ancient Tree Men. God, I love this game. You just don't see this anywhere else, am I right? And then we're going to have 2 Wildwood Rangers in the rear, along with some Glade Riders with Spears. Awesome sauce, folks. Soul Quench coming down. Once again, hitting Marathi, doing some damage to the Bleak Swords around her as well, by the looks of it. And very aggressive Lizardman Dark Elf build going against this Empire Wood Elf build. So we'll see what happens. A lot of terror in the Empire Wood Elf Alliance, that's for sure. Soulfire going down there, but actually missing the target for the most part. So a bit of a lost opportunity there. And now the Chameleon Stalkers are getting in range to throw off their bombs. And they do a lot of damage against those lightly armored state troops. And they should do well in combat, too. Soul Quench going down again on Marathi. She's down below half health. 1 Soul Stealer, and she should be right as rain, of course. And yeah, right now it does look like the Wood Elf Empire Alliance is going to have a difficult time. But as I say that, these are feral cold ones. They're not going to stand a chance. They are getting shut down quite hard. Over here, Wildwood Rangers coming down with the Firebark Eldars to counter the Cold One Knights and the Dark Riders with shields. And they should make quick work of Cold One Knights, no doubt. Over here, Glade Riders diving out, hitting the Skinkoa with Javelin. Some really nice micro and target prioritization here from the Empire Wood Elf Alliance. And balance of power is in their favor right now. Marathi getting Wand of Carried On all over the place. We'll see if she throws down a Soul Stealer soon or not. But oh, the cannonball is shooting her too! She might just die right here. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt a lot. Marathi, do you not have a Soul Stealer? And if you do, why have you not cast it yet? I'm very uncertain about what's happening here. If it's been used and there's not enough magic left, or what's going on. But over here, the Ancient Treemen coming in, going to hit this big blob of infantry in the back, and it looks like they're going right for Marathi. Marathi is terror routing. She got Soul Quenched again. She's down to 91 HP, and this is looking bad for the Lizardmen and the Dark Elves. I don't know, chat. Maybe I'm getting tunnel vision here, just focusing too much on Marathi, but this is looking like it's going pear-shaped in a hurry. Still have Volkmar the Grim, full health, running around. Wildwood Rangers in the mix here. And that Spellweaver of High Magic is just not having anybody, take her seriously. Right now, the repeater crossbows pouring into the Treemen. This could be a big play for the Dark Elves and Lizardmen if they can pull it off. Eliminating these Treemen is something they need to do yesterday. But right now, it's just the balance of power is really not looking good. Marathi throwing down a Soul Stealer. Oh, barely getting it off. Is she going to be able to stay alive, though? Okay, there she goes. She's healing. Marathi turning around, looking like she was getting ready to threaten them. And just like that, Marathi pulling herself back from the brink of death. Question is, will it stay that way? Another Soul Quench. Man, that Soul Quench is vicious. 175 HP left on Marathi. One of the Ancient Treemen is routing, though. The other one looks like it's going to be getting a regrowth from the Jade Wizard. Regrowth upgraded. And there goes a banishment. Oh, my gatos and mis zapatos. And there goes an Earthblood, and just like that, the chances once again diminishing. And one more Soul Quench or a sneeze in the wrong direction will kill Morathi. Kroxigor Ancient and the Skink Priest going after Volkmar the Grim, desperately trying to eliminate him. Morathi, Soul Stealer on top of the Ancient Tree Man, bringing up her health again ever so slightly. Holy hell, Morathi is just staying alive as best as she can. Repeater crossbows causing a ton of damage. Will they be able to finish these guys off, though? Morathi running away for dear life. The Spellweaver of High Magic is one mission, and that mission is to kill Morathi with Soul Quenches. Oh, Repeater crossbows! Look at this. Okay, so Dark Rider's Shields now on top of the Spellweaver of High Magic. Oh no, they're losing their leadership, though. If they can pin her in place, this could be a moment for Morathi to exact her revenge, but no, yeah, they lost it. There they go. Morathi going into combat with them. Kroxigor Ancient is now routing. There goes another Grand Soulfire. It's going to demolish everything around it. This has been a very, very well thought out Empire Wood Elf army. I have to give credit there. They brought these tools like Ancient Treeman and Volkmar to encourage blobbing from their enemy, and then they've been punishing those blobs with mortars, banishments, soulfires, you name it. Repeater crossbows doing the best they can to pull this back, but I think the balance of power is saying what we all know by now, and that's that this Dark Elf Lizardman army is coming up wanting. Repeater crossbow is going to be pulling away. This is probably their last chance to try to get anything done, but Morathi is going down for the count. There's nothing to save her now. She's at 318 HP and routing. There's a Tree Man chasing her, a Spellweaver chasing her. The only thing saving her right now is that apparently they both have horrible depth perception and cannot target her effectively. Yeah, because even if they eliminate all the single entities now, I don't think they can deal with the Sisters of Thorn. And I also don't know if they have enough ammunition to eliminate Volkmar or the Ancient Tree Man right now. So Army Loss is kicking in a valiant defeat for PE. And with that, their chances of winning this clan war against Han will go down the drain. An excellent war between both factions here. But now that we're going into this next 1v1, the final 1v1 between these two excellent clans, it's going to be a matter of seeing if PE can get up to 6, or if they are going to be losing 10-5 to Han. Treeman OP confirmed indeed. Yes, I have seen the newly finished Stormbeams, and that's your first minis. I have to say, they look good, man. I haven't even started painting mine. I need to get on that shit. But Kroxigor Ancient doing some good damage. Honestly, I thought it was looking pretty good for them for a while there. But I think the flank engagements really weren't good for the Dark Elves and the Lizardmen. The flank engagements were dominated by the Empire and the Wood Elves with the Wildwood Rangers and just the Wood Elf mobility. The Repeater crossbow is doing a lot of good work there. Morathi getting countered very, very hard, though, by that Spellsinger of High Magic. Over here, you can see the Empire State Troops doing their job. The cannons getting a ton of value. And both Warrior Priest here. I'm counting Volkmar the Grim as a priest. And getting a lot of value. Now for the Wood Elves here, Spellweaver of High Magic, just doing so much work with those Soul Quenches. Wildwood Rangers doing work. And Sisters of Thorn. Look at that. The Wood Elves really did a lot of heavy lifting here. The Treemen were just there to encourage blobs, like I said, in the battle, and they were just punishing those blobs with viciously placed banishments and artillery fire, soul fires, all of the above. But on that note, let's get to the last 1v1 in this excellent clan war between Han and PE. And for that final match, you know what factions we're going to have, chat? Two of the OG factions. We got Han bringing the greenskins. Let's update that. I'm going to throw down Wurzagen, some high hopes that we'll see him. And we got Noob for Life. Wait a minute. Yeah, representing the Empire. And yeah, just double checking, that is the final 1v1 to watch today. So without further ado, here we go, chat. Red Wedding Planner, thank you so much for the subscription. That's really kind of you. I appreciate that, and it goes a long way to helping me fund prize pools and all that good stuff. So hope you're enjoying yourself. Let me know if you have any requests. Now, covering these armies, let's start with the Empire. Now, we're going to have 3 Pistoliers up front. Sigmar's Sons, Spearmen on either flank, 2 Flagellants. Got some more Spearmen and Halberdiers. Looks like we have 4 Halberdiers. Going to have some Empire Knights in the back lines. Looks like 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to have 2 Mortars in the back lines too. For the leadership, oh, actually before I forget to mention it, we have Handgunners in here. Also going to be seeing a Bright Wizard, Burning Head, and Fireball. And then leading the army, we do have Marcus Wolfheart. He will be bringing the Hunter's Snare and nothing else. So for the greenskins, we got ourselves a very big, wide army. Gonna have Goblin Wolf Rider Archers and Mogrim's Mangy Marauders and some Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers. Gonna have 3 units of Orc Boar Boys on that far right flank. Gonna be looking here at the 8 Peak Loonies, a front line of 4 Goblins and 3 Orc Boys. And then over here, we're gonna be seeing some more Orc Boys, 2 of them to be precise, and some Orc Boar Chariots. Empire screening them out with their Pistoliers. Over here, we do see Grom the Paunch going to be bringing the Lucky Banner. Degradon is here, and Language of the Boys, and an Orc Shaman with Brainburster, and here we go. Alright, Handgunners opening fire here. Greenskin forces are taking some serious damage on the approach. Pistoliers and handguns doing a lot of work on top of them. Sigmar's Sons now coming out for the charge, getting a clean engagement. Flagellants clogging up all the goblins and orc boys. And the greenskins slowly but surely creeping up the flanks. So we'll see what they can get going. Over here, one of the Empire Knights getting shut down real hard by a combination of Orc Boys and greenskin skirmishers. Halberds are pulling in from the other end, trying to support them. It looks like the Knights are going to start to rout, and there's nothing pinning the Orc Boys in place now. However, Orc Boar Chariot has already begun routing, and the Empire is looking pretty decent in the balance of power as we speak. Orc Boys getting charged without getting a counter charge by the looks of it. That's going to hurt, but they do have that armor piercing, which is going to help them a lot in a prolonged engagement against the Empire Knights. Halberds are pouring in, trying to support, but now we have the other flank of Orc Boys diving in and rear charging these Empire Knights, and that's going to be very, very painful. Right now, balance of power has now switched and is clearly in favor of the greenskins. Burning Head coming down. to catch some orc boys doing some decent damage, hurting their leadership as well with the burnt trait. Ooh. Empire starting to lose it here. Looking strong at first, but now the greenskins seem to have overwhelmed the line and it completely enveloped the Empire army, and there doesn't really seem to be any cohesive formation going for the Empire right now. And Brain Burster going down to hurt some Empire Knights even further. And it looks to me like this one was a strong start from the Empire, but then a stronger finish from the greenskins, really using those orc boar boys in numbers to get around the flanks and overwhelm this Empire army. Here we go, popped on top of them. I love seeing that spell, bringing their melee attack all the way to 62, which is insane. And that's going to be a GG, with PE conceding defeat and Han taking it 10-5. Hammond, thank you for the subscription. I really appreciate it. What is that? 3 subscribers today. Thank you all so much. Got Shetland Apache with 39 months of subs. Red Wedding Planner just subscribing. And Hammond Ball subscribing. Thank you all so much for tuning in and doing that. You're doing very well this year and you want to see the hobby thrive? Well, that's good to hear, man. And yeah, congrats to Han and big respect to PE. Those were excellent games in both parts of this Clan War series. You know, 10-5 is going to be the score at the end. Oops, I guess I need to do something like that. I'm not usually having 2 digits up there. But yeah, 10-5 is the final score in this Clan War Cup between Han and PE. A huge shout out, can't say it enough, to both of these clans for getting together and playing these matches. They were beautiful to behold. I really enjoyed them. And I hope they had a good time playing them. And also a huge shout out, even bigger shout out to the people who have made this possible and organized it. We got Vicious Satsuma and a lot of other great RTK clan members involved in putting this together. And big thank you to y'all for inviting me to cast some of these battles. It's been a good time. And I'm looking forward to casting the next series of battles in this Clan War Cup. And you know what factions we're going to be casting in the next series, guys? It's going to be VM versus Han. So we got VM based in Russia and Han based in China. So we're going to be seeing those 2 clans duke it out next. So we're going to be seeing some more of the Han clan in the near future, but this time they will be facing off against VM. So big congratulations to Han, and thank you to everybody once again for tuning in, for the subscribers, the new followers. Today we got Stevens, Capable, HQHM, Shetland Apache with the sub, Red Wedding Planner with the sub, and Hammond Ball with the sub. Y'all are the best. I appreciate you so much. I guess I'll show my face briefly. I'm going to get out of here. I was going to play some battles afterwards, but I just realized I'm very hungry. So I might try to come on and stream some battles later tonight. But if not today, I will be on tomorrow. You have my promise there. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you have a good night, morning, day, wherever you may be. Vicious Satsuma, Hammond Ball, Grox, Butcherbird, Moobot, of course, Red Wedding Planner, everybody who's tuned in today, Raziel Ball, Romulan Dog, Black Knight, Shetland Apache, Ice Power, Far Dizzle. I don't think, I'm probably missing people. Jeff the Jar. There's so many people in the chat. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you on the battlefield. HW out. Bye, guys.